These are the 13 books you need to read before turning 30. They compress decades of wisdom into minutes, and in this video, I'll blitz through each book in under 60 seconds. Now, a few of them you might not have heard of, but they're some of the most valuable and underrated books you can read. So grab a pen and let's go. Number 1, Range by David Epstein. At work, in school, even on the playing field, the world pushes us to specialize, to pick a lane early, then stick with it for years and years. But this book shows why sampling wildly, not specializing early, is the real path to excellence. David shows that generalists, people who try lots of stuff, even if they don't know precisely where it all will lead, outperform specialists in most environments. Because what looks like a detour is often mental cross-training. So generalists excel at recognizing patterns, forging analogies, and building resilience. We think Tiger Woods should be our role model for success. Pick up a golf club at age 2, do nothing else, and become great. But the better model is Roger Federer. He became a legendary tennis player not by playing only tennis as a kid, but by playing lots of sports, which gave him the physical and mental advantages over his more narrowly focused opponent. That's the first book you should read before you're 30. Let's move to number 2, a lesser known one, Getting to Yes by Roger Fisher and William Ury. This is a book I did read before I turned 30, and I'm grateful for that. Getting to Yes is the negotiation Bible I didn't realize I needed. And in about 200 pages, it's a sprint, not a slog. The main point? Negotiations aren't battles where one side must win and the other must lose. They're exercises in joint problem solving, where the best way to win is to help the other side get what it wants. This method has 4 moves. Separate people from the problem, drill down to real interests, brainstorm multiple options, and measure proposals against objective benchmarks rather than ego. The book's killer concept is the BATNA, your best alternative to a negotiated agreement. What will you do if you walk away from the negotiating table? Knowing that can turn fear into freedom. This next book is probably the book I recommend most. It's Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. During World War II, Viktor Frankl survived 4 concentration camps. Then he emerged from that horrible experience to write one of the most gobsmacking books you will ever read. A book I recommend to everyone, truly to everyone. Frankl's key insight is that humans can endure almost any how if they have a compelling why. Because at our core, we're not driven by power or pleasure, but by purpose. He calls his theory logotherapy, and he says the way to cope, to survive, maybe even to thrive, is to find a sense of meaning in your life. And that meaning, he says, shows up in 3 places: what you create, who you love, and how you grow through suffering. You won't find meaning in every experience every day of your life, but you need enough of it to keep going, to push through all of life's unpleasantness and unfairness and make your unique contribution. The next one is the only one I recommend on audio because it's a really good listen. Animal Farm by George Orwell. Yeah, you probably read it in high school, but you might have missed the point. Teachers tell us that Animal Farm is an allegory about political power in general and the Soviet Union in particular. And it is, but it's way more than that. It's a crash course on how power calcifies. It's the best book on organizational behavior I've ever read. It's a guidebook to help you prevent being trapped by awful leaders, or worse, becoming one yourself. And for an 80-year-old book, it's incredibly, preposterously, shockingly relevant to today. Scan any day's headlines, corporate, political, social media, and you'll see snowballs scapegoated, commandments rewritten, and boxers worked to exhaustion. It's also just 90 pages, 3 hours on audio. So read it or listen to it now, and you will carry a permanent BS detector for power grabs masquerading as progress. All the books on this list are equal, but some are more equal than others. This next book isn't for you, it's for your parents, which is why you should read it. How to Raise an Adult by Julie Lythcott-Haims. It's about how a former dean at Stanford named Julie noticed that on the surface, many students sparkled with accomplishment, but inside, they felt hollow and inept. They were great at calculus and coding, but couldn't do laundry or handle a conflict with a roommate. This book combines case studies and psychological research to help you move yourself or your kids from supervised childhood to self-governed adulthood. It shows why personal scaffolding is more valuable than parental safety nets, why the willingness to fail is more vital than the desire to succeed, and why the secret to adult life is the powerful combination of independence and imperfection. This next book is a popular one, but believe me, It's popular for a reason. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. This is one of the best-selling nonfiction books of the last century. And the reason is that it's so darn simple and sensible. Covey offers 7 pieces of advice that have stood the test of time. Be proactive. Don't wait, take the initiative. Begin with the end in mind. Picture what you're trying to accomplish, then work backward. Put first things first. Calendar your priorities. Don't prioritize your calendar. Think win-win. Bake a bigger pie instead of fighting for crumbs. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. See the world from another's perspective. Synergize. Look for situations where 1 + 1 can equal 3. Sharpen the saw. Rest. Recover. Renew. None of these habits is flashy. All of them are essential. StrengthsFinder by Tom Rath. You've probably been told that you'll succeed if you fix your weaknesses. But before you send yourself in for repairs, think again. You're probably better off finding and accentuating your strengths. This book shows you how. Inside is a password to an assessment that in 20 minutes spits out your 5 natural talents, the things that make you you and help you do great work. I have tried every assessment out there, and this is one that actually reshaped my work. It showed me my 5 strengths: strategic, ideation, learner, input, activator. And that helped me figure out what to do, and equally important, what not to do. And if there's one skill I'd recommend everyone learn at a basic level, it's persuasion, which leads me to Influence by Robert Cialdini. In any job you ever have, you'll be persuading all the time. You need to know how to do it well. You need to know how to do it ethically, which means you need to read this classic. It's the best book on persuasion ever written, and that includes some of my own. In Influence, which I've mentioned in another video, Bob lays out the 6 principles of persuasion. There's social proof. That's the instinct to treat the crowd's behavior, what they buy, praise, or imitate, as a quick signal of what we should do. Or scarcity. When there's less of something, we want it more, which is why seeing only 2 seats left at this price get us to book that airline ticket. Seriously, folks, read this book. Influence is the Swiss Army knife that will fit in every pocket of your professional life. If you've ever stayed up late overthinking, this next book is for you. Chatter by Ethan Kross. You know that 3 a.m. voice replaying every mistake you've ever made? University of Michigan professor Ethan Kross names it, tames it, and shows you how to turn your inner heckler into a compassionate teacher. In Chatter, Ethan explores something that you and I and everyone else does all the time. We talk to ourselves silently in our heads. It's not weird, it's human. And Ethan explains that self-talk can either sharpen our perspective or spiral us into anxiety. Drawing on lab studies, memoirs, and even Rafael Nadal's water bottle rituals, he dissects the machinery of self-talk and supplies quick interventions. Talk to yourself in the third person. Visualize your situation like you're a fly on the wall. Time travel 10 years into the future. Take a walk where there's more green than concrete. Master your self-talk skills now, and imposter syndrome, catastrophizing, and second-guessing yourself will fade away. Bird by Anne Lamott. Blank page, blinking cursor, heart rate climbing. Years ago, Annie's brother faced a deep panic over a grade school report he had to write about birds. And the fix, one tiny action at a time, became the battle cry for creatives everywhere. Take it bird by bird. The secret to success, not just in work, but in everything, isn't massive, heroic bursts of effort. It's slow, steady, consistent progress, bird by bird. I've talked about this book before. It helped me become a better writer, and it can help you become just plain better. I was a little skeptical of this book when I first picked it up, but I found its analysis of modern life powerful and persuasive. The authors argue that 3 mistaken beliefs are warping our schools and workplaces. What doesn't kill you makes you weaker. Always trust your feelings, and life is a battle between good people and evil people. These 3 beliefs aren't just wrong, they're dangerous. They shut down debate, undermine judgment, and erode grit. But we can overcome them by being smarter, tougher, and more intentional. Seeking voluntary discomfort, not avoiding it. Analyzing feelings, not valorizing them. And taking seriously ideas we disagree with. Apply the principles in this book, and you'll become a sharper thinker, a better collaborator, and a more compassionate, resilient person. When it comes to mastering a fundamental skill, no book does it better than this next one. You're Not Listening by Kate Murphy. In school, they teach us how to read. They teach us how to write. But nobody ever teaches us how to listen. Just because you have 2 ears doesn't mean you know how to do it. This book fills the gap. Kate Murphy interviews CIA interrogators, bartenders, hairdressers, and air traffic controllers to show how to truly pay attention to others. And uncover information and insights that Google, social media, and AI never will. She debunks certain myths. For example, nodding isn't listening, and she demonstrates how silence, paraphrasing, and open-ended curiosity can help you learn more thoroughly and connect more deeply. But what stuck with me most is this 8-word sentence. Listening is the simplest way to show respect. And last, a book that isn't religious, but I kind of follow it as if it were. Getting Things Done by David Allen. Decades ago, David made a breakthrough about productivity. Your mind is for having ideas, not holding them. That's why you need to capture all that stuff in your head, the to-do list, the unfinished tasks, the open loops, the random thoughts, and get it all into a system that clears your mind to do its real job. David taught me how to make that happen. GTD is why I break every project into next actions and desired outcomes, why I have an inbox on my desk and even in hotel rooms, why I carry around a notebook, why I keep a someday maybe list, and why I do a weekly review. In other words, this book is a key reason why I get things done. 13 books you need to read before you're 30. Pick one, then get started. And if you like this video, you'll like another video I made recently where I summarized 21 life-changing books in 18 minutes. I thought one way about the world, then I read these books, and they totally changed my perspective.